Good evening, and welcome to your AI Daily Press evening podcast for February 5, 2026. I'm your host, Walter. Firstly, we've been following the developments in U.S.-Iran relations, where Turkey has been working to bring both nations to the negotiating table. The willingness to engage in dialogue is a positive step towards de-escalating tensions and finding mutually beneficial solutions. We'll continue to provide updates as this story unfolds. Secondly, the expiration of the New START treaty between the United States and Russia has significant implications for global security. Without a replacement agreement, the risk of an unrestrained arms race grows, potentially drawing in other nations and escalating the threat of nuclear conflict. We'll be keeping a close eye on this critical development. Lastly, the UK government is facing intense scrutiny over its handling of Peter Mandelson's appointment as ambassador to the United States. The British police are investigating Mandelson over potential misconduct in public office due to his association with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Prime Minister Starmer's judgment has been questioned, and the situation remains uncertain. These stories highlight the complexities and challenges facing global politics today. We'll continue to provide in-depth analysis and updates on these critical stories as they unfold. And that's the way it is. Now for the latest in social and cultural news, here is Barbara Waters.
Walter, and then shall know what's right now. Firstly, in Nigeria, senseless violence has claimed the lives of many innocent people, with recent attacks leaving countless civilians without access to basic necessities. We've been following the developments and will continue to bring you updates as more information becomes available. Secondly, the conflict between Russia and Ukraine continues to escalate, with reports of Russian missiles and drones targeting Ukraine's energy grid, leaving many without power, heat, or running water. The international community has condemned these actions, citing serious violations of humanitarian law. Lastly, in the Middle East, a fragile ceasefire between Israel and Hamas remains under strain, with both sides accusing each other of violating the agreement. Despite efforts by U.S. and Arab mediators, tensions remain high, and the situation on the ground is volatile. We urge all parties involved to exercise restraint and work toward a peaceful resolution. These are just a few of the stories we're following tonight. For more in-depth analysis and updates, tune in to our previous broadcasts or visit our website. Now for the latest in business and finance, here is Louis Riskweiser.
Thank you, Barbara. Firstly, we discussed the Q3 results of Hindustan Copper and RVNL. Both companies showed resilience in their respective sectors, with Hindustan Copper reporting a substantial year-over-year growth in profit and RVNL announcing an interim dividend. However, their paths to growth are fraught with challenges, and investors should remain vigilant. Secondly, we analyzed the U.S. initiative to form a trade zone for critical minerals, aiming to reduce dependence on China for these essential resources. The plan promotes cooperation among countries to ensure a stable and secure supply of minerals crucial for various industries. While industry experts welcome this move, analysts caution that challenging China's dominance won't be easy. Lastly, we touched upon the U.S.-China trade tensions, with both countries imposing tariffs on each other's goods. The critical minerals issue has become a key point of contention, with China tightening its grip on exports and the U.S. seeking to reduce its dependence on Chinese imports. President Donald Trump announced the creation of a critical mineral reserve called Project Vault, worth almost $12 billion, to ensure a steady supply for U.S. industries. Remember, in the world of finance, knowledge is power. Stay informed, stay ahead. And as I always say, stay level-headed and keep your investments in check. Now for the latest in science and technology, here is Carl Starman.
Thank you, Louis. Firstly, we looked at the ambitious plans of LOGOS Space Services to launch over 12,000 broadband satellites into low Earth orbit by 2032. This move has significant implications for global communication and internet access, but also raises important questions about sustainability and environmental impact. Next, we explored OpenAI's shift in focus towards showcasing the real-world impact of its ChatGPT tool, particularly for individuals and small businesses.
The company's Super Bowl campaign highlights personal stories of entrepreneurs who have leveraged ChatGPT to drive innovation and progress. Lastly, we touched on the broader themes of responsible innovation, environmental stewardship, and the pursuit of knowledge that benefits all humanity. As we continue to navigate the complexities of space exploration, satellite technology, and AI, it's essential to emphasize critical thinking, skepticism, and a commitment to positive change. Now for the latest in sports, here is Howard Closewell.
Thank you, Carl. In our latest episodes, we've covered a range of exciting stories from the NBA trade deadline rumors surrounding Giannis Antetokounmpo to the WM Phoenix Open in golf, where Scottie Scheffler is favored to defend his title. We also touched on the NFL's Super Bowl LX with expert predictions from Pete Prisco and John Breach. Additionally, we discussed the PGA of America's new CEO, Terry Clark, and key matchups in college sports, including Texas versus LSU in women's basketball and Duke versus Louisville in men's hoops. Furthermore, our attention turned to the Winter Olympics in Italy, where athletes are vying for gold medals. Our expert Mike Tierney shared top picks for the games, including a bet on the total number of gold medals the United States will earn, as well as individual bets on American athletes Alex Hall, Elisa Liu, and Jessica Diggins. In my humble opinion, these events showcase the drama and excitement of athletic competition. As we continue to follow the action, we'll provide you with in-depth analysis and expert insights to help you make informed decisions about your bets. The drama of athletic competition will undoubtedly continue to unfold, and we'll be here to bring you all the latest developments. Now for the latest in travel and human interest, here is Charles Curl.
Thank you, Howard. First, we explored the importance of cultivating meaningful relationships in our lives. We reflected on how simple yet profound acts of connection can have a lasting impact on ourselves, others, and the world around us. Next, we sat down with Nina Persson, the iconic lead vocalist of the Cardigans, who shared her journey, from the band's rise to fame to her personal battles with cancer. Her story is one of resilience, creativity, and passion, reminding us that even in challenging times, there is always hope for a brighter future. Finally, we traveled to Maryland, where lawmakers have taken a significant step towards protecting immigrant communities by ending local cooperation with ICE and banning most masked law enforcement. This move aims to safeguard the rights and dignity of immigrant families, who are the backbone of our nation's strength and diversity. These stories remind us of the power of community, compassion, and advocacy in shaping a better America. As we continue on this journey through the heart of America, we're committed to sharing stories that touch the heart and inform the mind. Now for the latest in fashion and entertainment, here is Joan Streams.
Thank you, Charles. First up, we shone the spotlight on talented actress Stacey Martin, who's making waves in the film industry with her impressive performances. We also took a closer look at the world of cinema, where several high-profile films surprisingly missed the mark with Oscar voters. It seems like the Academy is becoming increasingly unpredictable, and we're excited to see how the rest of awards season unfolds. In the world of fashion and art, Irish artist Alba Ní Brián is turning heads with her stunning twin exhibitions in Paris. Her work is a masterclass in texture, color, and composition, and it's a must-see for anyone who loves contemporary art. Finally, we talked about the business side of the entertainment industry, where scandals and controversies are always brewing. But as I always say, if you can't handle the heat, then maybe you should get out of the kitchen. It's an exciting time to be alive, with new stars rising every day and old ones falling from grace. So, let's grab a cup of coffee, take a step back, and remember that at the end of the day, it's all just showbiz. Thanks for joining me on the AI Daily Press. Oh, grow up, and let's get this party started. Now for the latest in nature and environment, here is David Attenacher.
Thank you, Joan. In this special report, we're summarizing 3 critical stories that bridge the natural world with technology and scientific discovery. Firstly, we explored the implications of a data leak from AI-powered photo identification apps used for animal and insect recognition. The exposure of sensitive GPS data from over 2 million users highlights the importance of prioritizing data protection in the age of artificial intelligence, especially when it intersects with environmental conservation and personal privacy. Secondly, we delved into a recent study challenging traditional methods for estimating dinosaur ages based on growth rings found in their bones. By analyzing Nile crocodiles, researchers discovered that these animals can form extra growth marks beyond annual cycles, potentially indicating that our current age estimates for dinosaurs could be inaccurate. This finding sparks a fascinating debate among paleontologists and underscores the need for continued research into modern animal biology to better understand ancient species. Lastly, we touched upon the critical topic of responsible innovation in the digital age, emphasizing the balance between technological advancement and environmental responsibility. As we increasingly rely on AI and digital tools to interact with nature, it's essential to ensure that our methods do not inadvertently harm the environments or species we aim to preserve. These stories represent just a few examples of the intricate connections between technology, nature, and human society. Join us every evening on the AI Daily Press as we explore these intersections, discuss pressing environmental issues, and uncover the latest discoveries in science and conservation. And that completes our evening podcast for today. Thank you for listening. Until tomorrow morning, I'm David Atenacher for AI Daily Press, the world's most unbiased news source.